Hello and welcome to Lost Love Mystery, where we explore the twists and turns of love, the pain of betrayal, and the mysteries that lie hidden in the heart. My fiancée, let's call her, and I have been together for 4 years. Everyone thinks we're the perfect couple. We were supposed to get married in 2 months. Everything's booked, invitations sent, deposits paid. My parents have already dropped serious cash on this thing. For the past few months, I has been working late constantly. At first I was supportive. She got promoted at this marketing firm and seemed really excited about taking on more responsibility. But then she started canceling our date nights, skipping wedding planning sessions, and being super vague about these client meetings that always ran late. I tried not to be that insecure guy. I really did. I kept telling myself she was just focused on her career, and that was a good thing. Then last night, I got a DM from someone claiming to be her coworker. They said I should pay attention to how I acts around her boss. Normally I'd ignore anonymous SHD like that, but something about it made my stomach drop. I fell asleep on the couch last night after coming home late. Again, her phone was right there, unlocked. I've never gone through her phone before. Never. But I did it. I wish I hadn't. Explicit texts. Pictures I can never unsee. Plans to meet at hotels. This wasn't a one-time thing. Based on the timestamps, they've been fing for months. Right through our engagement party. Right through picking out our wedding venue. I confronted her this morning. I was calm. I just showed her what I found and asked for an explanation. She went ballistic. Called me the bad guy for invading her privacy. Then she switched to blaming me. Said I was too focused on work and made her feel trapped and unsupported. Said her boss appreciates her professionally in ways I don't. There was no real apology. She actually tried to convince me it was just one mistake even when I scrolled through months of texts right in front of her. I'm done. Wedding's off. But now I'm the idiot who can't handle one mistake and is throwing away our relationship over nothing. She's already telling people I'm controlling and jealous. I haven't told anyone the full story yet. Part of me still wants to protect her, which is FD up, I know. But our families are so invested in this wedding. Did I overreact? Am I the idiot for canceling everything over this? Update. First, thanks to everyone who commented on my last post. You all helped me see I wasn't crazy for walking away. The last few weeks have been absolute HL. After I announced the wedding was off, I went into full damage control mode. She's been telling everyone who'll listen that I'm mentally unstable and ruined our relationship over a harmless work friendship. According to her, I hacked her phone because I was jealous of her success. And now I'm destroying our future over my insecurities. The worst part, people are believing her. My own mother called asking if I was sure I wasn't overreacting. A's parents called me absolutely furious, demanding to know why I was humiliating their daughter. They mentioned how much money they'd spent on the wedding, like that should factor into whether I stay with someone who betrayed me. Meanwhile, D, her boss, completely ghosted her at work. Apparently, he's terrified this will blow back on him professionally. I was devastated that he wouldn't stand by her, which is effing rich considering what they did to me. I've been staying with my buddy, sleeping on his couch. Can't face our apartment yet. Too many memories, too much shared stuff to sort through. I've been barely functioning at work, and my friends are split between those who believe her and those who are suspicious but don't know the whole story. Yesterday was the breaking point. I showed up at my office, crying, causing a scene, begging me to stop being dramatic and reconsider. She actually said, in front of my coworkers, that everyone makes mistakes and I was throwing away something special over nothing. That was it. I was done protecting her image. I pulled out my phone, pulled up the screenshots I'd saved, and showed her text to a couple of my closest coworkers who were witnessing this meltdown. Their faces said it all. One of them, a woman who was actually friends with A, looked physically ill reading what I had been saying about me while planning hotel meetups with D. Words spread fast. By evening, our mutual friends were texting me apologies for believing her. A's social media has gone dark. Apparently, D is now facing an HR investigation at their company. I know this is messy and petty, but I couldn't take being painted as the villain anymore. Was I wrong to finally show people the evidence? I didn't want to hurt her, but I'm so tired of being gaslit and having my character assassinated when I did nothing wrong. I have an appointment with a therapist next week. I know I need help processing all this. In the meantime, I'm just trying to survive each day. Update. It's been exactly 3 months since I found those texts, and my whole life imploded. A lot has changed. First, I finally moved out of our shared apartment last month. Getting my own place was financially tough, but mentally necessary. It's smaller, but it's mine. No memories, no ghosts. The social fallout has been intense. After I showed those screenshots, A's carefully crafted victim narrative collapsed overnight. D ended up resigning from the company after the HR investigation revealed he'd had similar relationships with other employees. I gotta keep her job, technically, but from what I hear, she's basically been frozen out. She's tried contacting me about 50 different ways. Texts, calls, emails, even handwritten letters flipped under my door. At first, they were angry, blaming me for ruining her reputation and destroying her career. Then they turned desperate and apologetic. The most recent ones are just that. I haven't responded to any of them. The wedding cancellation was a financial disaster. We lost most deposits, and both sets of parents were out thousands. A's parents, who were so quick to call me the villain, have gone completely silent since seeing the evidence. My parents are supportive now, but still processing their own disappointment. The weirdest part is how many people have shared their own cheating stories with me. It's like once this became public, everyone felt the need to tell me about the time they caught someone or were caught themselves. I appreciate the solidarity, but it's effing depressing how common this is. I've been seeing my therapist regularly. The first thing she helped me realize is that I was blaming myself for not seeing the signs. But the truth is, I trusted it completely. That wasn't weakness, that was me being a good partner. Work has become my refuge. I've thrown myself into projects, staying late, taking on extra assignments. My boss noticed and actually put me up for a promotion. I find out next week if I got it. I still have bad days. Days where I wake up and for a split second, forget everything that happened. Then it all comes crashing back, and the pain feels fresh again. But those moments are getting less frequent. I haven't started dating again. Not even close to ready. Some friends tried setting me up, but I shut that down fast. I need to figure out who I am on my own before I can think about trusting someone else. A few people have suggested I should feel vindicated by how everything turned out. A losing friend, D losing his job. But honestly, I don't. There's no satisfaction in any of this. I would have given anything for none of it to have happened in the first place. But it did happen. And now I'm building something new from the wreckage. Some days it feels impossible. Some days it feels like maybe. Just maybe I'll be okay. Update. It's been exactly 1 year since I found those texts, and my life changed forever. I realized I never properly thanked this community for helping me through the darkest period of my life. So here I am. The person I was a year ago wouldn't recognize me today. Literally, I'm down 30 pounds, got a new haircut, and completely changed my wardrobe. But the real changes are deeper than that. Professional updates first. I got that promotion I mentioned in my last post. Then, 6 months later, I actually switched companies for an even better position. The new job pays almost 40% more than what I was making before all this happened. I've traveled for work to places I never thought I'd see. Last month, I closed the biggest deal of my career. On the personal front, I've been in therapy consistently. Best decision I ever made. I've learned so much about myself. How I ignored red flags because I was so invested in the perfect relationship narrative. How I used to derive too much of my self-worth from being in a relationship. The apartment I panic rented right after everything fell apart wasn't great. So 3 months ago, I actually bought my first place. It's not huge, but it's mine, and I've been slowly furnishing it with things that actually reflect my taste. Turns out I was making most of the decorating decisions in our old place. I've reconnected with old friends I had drifted away from during my relationship. Started playing basketball again on weekends. Took a cooking class. Planted a small garden on my balcony. Small things, but they're mine. As for her, we haven't spoken in about 8 months. After her barrage of messages, I finally sent one text asking her to stop contacting me. She did. From mutual friends, I've heard she eventually left her job and moved to another state. He apparently got divorced. His wife found out and is trying to rebuild his career at a smaller firm. For those wondering, yes, I am dating again. Slowly and cautiously, I've gone on maybe a dozen first dates in the past 6 months. Nothing serious yet, but I'm open to possibilities in a way I wasn't before. The most unexpected change has been in how I view relationships in general. I used to think a good relationship meant never having conflicts or disagreements. Now I understand that's BS. Real compatibility isn't about never having problems. It's about how you work through them together. Last week, I was cleaning out some old files and found our wedding invitation. A year ago, That would have sent me into a tailspin. This time, I felt a twinge of sadness, but mostly nothing. Just a reminder of a bullet dodged. To anyone going through something similar right now, it gets better. Not quickly, not easily. There will be days when you feel like you're drowning. But eventually, those days become less frequent. The pain doesn't disappear completely, but it changes form. It becomes something you carry rather than something that carries you. I don't know what the next year holds, but for the first time in a long time, I'm actually excited to find out. I never expected to be writing another update, but I just realized it's been about 2.5 years since that night I found those texts. And I thought some of you might want to know how things turned out. Life is good. Really good, actually. Sometimes I forget how bad things were in those early days. The pain that felt like it would never end has faded to the point where I can go weeks without thinking about or what happened. The biggest update. I've been in a relationship for just over a year now. Let's call her Jay. We met through work. She was in a partner company, so no direct conflict there. It started slowly. We were friends first, which gave me time to really get to know her before things turned romantic. The difference between this relationship and my last one is night and day. Jay and I actually talk about hard things. We disagree sometimes, and that's okay. There's a level of honesty and transparency that I never had with A, even before the cheating. Jay knows my whole story, and she's been incredibly patient when my trust issues occasionally surfaced. Career-wise, things continue to go well. That job I switched to after the breakup has turned into something really special. I'm managing a team now, which is challenging but rewarding. My financial situation is more stable than it's ever been. I still own my condo, but Jay and I have been talking about looking for a place together in the new year. Moving in together is a big step, and there's a part of me that's nervous about it, but mostly I'm excited. As for A, I ran into her about 6 months ago. She moved back to the area apparently. It was at a grocery store, of all places. Awkward doesn't begin to describe it. She looked different. Hair cut short. Thinner. Somehow smaller than I remembered. She asked if we could get coffee sometime to clear the air. I declined politely but firmly. Some doors are better left closed. I heard through the grapevine that Dean never really recovered professionally from the scandal. His marriage ended, and he had to take a significant step down in his career. I take no pleasure in that. What happened damaged a lot of lives, his included. The wedding venue where we were supposed to get married actually closed down last year. Jay and I drove past the empty building a few weeks ago, and she asked if it was weird for me to see it. The strangest part was that it wasn't weird at all. It felt like looking at a scene from someone else's life. I still see my therapist, though now it's only once a month. We talk less about the past and more about the future, how to build something healthy, how to be a good partner without losing myself, how to recognize the difference between reasonable insecurities and letting old wounds dictate my actions. If I could go back and talk to myself from that first post, I'd tell him, this is going to hurt like HL, but you're going to survive it. You're going to learn from it. And eventually, you're going to be grateful it happened. Because the truth is, as painful as that betrayal was, it forced me to rebuild my life in a way that's more authentic and fulfilling than what I had before. The relationship I have now isn't perfect. No relationship is. But it's built on a foundation of mutual respect and honesty. So that's where I am. 2.5 years later. Living proof that sometimes the thing you think is breaking you is actually setting you free. Story 2. My stepdad. 55 male has been married to my mom. 52 female about 5 years. They were doing all right, but hit hard times and eventually had their house foreclosed on. So they moved in with me. 27 female. They've been living here for about 2 or 3 months now. And it's been going okay until last weekish. Also, my stepdad has been working a part-time job, but has not had full-time employment since then. Anyways, I feel like some of the issues started since I've been on vacation, which I have for 2 weeks. Sometime during the first few days, he saw me heading out and made some sort of comments regarding my outfit. He said the shorts were too short and that I should reconsider. We fought about it back and forth until I just decided to leave because I was tired of reasoning with him anymore. He's been making a lot of these comments in various times and various different ways. E.g. skirt or shorts are too short. Your belly is showing, etc., etc. I've told him to stop and he says okay and then starts up again. I can't say I understand. I think the straw that broke the camel's back for me was when I had my BF over. I've told my mom about it as well, and she said that she doesn't support it, but that this is a dispute him and I need to solve. He stayed till maybe 10:30 to 11 p.m. and left. My stepdad didn't say anything while he was here, but he emotionally imploded after he left. He said that it's wrong to have guys over this late and to be in my room with them alone. He said that we don't stand for these things in our house. I responded to him that he can stand for whatever he wants in his house, maybe even in a hypothetical our house. But he can't tell me what to do in my house. I told him that the days of him making unsolicited comments that me need to end. On top of that, I told him that from here on out I'm charging $400 a month rent with a month-to-month agreement. On top of that, if he continues to make comments, this agreement is over and he'll be out of the house as soon as I am able to make it happen. My mom was upset at first about it, but I was able to calm her down. First, I told her that he told me that it was up to us how to solve this dispute, and this is how I've decided to solve it. Secondly, I told her that he's been staying a while, and starting to charge rent would make my life a bit easier for as long as he stays. She was a bit more amenable to that second point. Stepdad is just overall quite PC. He hasn't told my mom or I his thoughts on the arrangement since he yelled at me about it the night of our big argument, but he is just generally ignoring me when he can. Relevant comments. Sounds like he found a good solution. Not the idiot. I was initially thinking of evicting them ASAP, but I figured that given he's been chill for months, I didn't need to go nuclear right away. My idea with charging the rent is that to an extent it's a punishment, but also a sort of hint that it's my house. Not the idiot. I think your BF needs to come over a lot more. I think you need to assert your dominance over your home each and every day. If they get too comfortable, they won't be incentivized to get their own place. That's actually a good idea. Maybe he should move in because if the threat of eviction doesn't stop him, maybe seeing my BF will haha. BF hasn't been over since the incident, but he hasn't made any comments on my clothes that also maybe he's improving. Or maybe he just doesn't want to get evicted, who knows. BF movie night at least 2 times per week. Friends over for game night 1 per week, dance party night, etc. Enjoy your house. Now, where to find the friends to make this happen? I do feel like stepdad is making progress towards leaving on his own, but dang, it's slow progress. He hasn't made any comments since, and my mom says he's planning to pay the first rent soon, so I think I'm good for now. He's acting like the dad of a teenager. And not only are you not a teenager, he is not even your dad. Nor isn't he in his house. This is a great solution. I think you need to start talking with them about their plans to move back out on their own. This can clearly not be a permanent situation. Not the idiot. True. I don't think it's planned to be permanent by anybody, but my mom says my stepdad is like maybe 3 to 4 months away from securing something permanent and moving out on his own. One of the things he said when I charged the rent was that I'm making it harder for him to afford his own place and get on with his life. But I think $400 a month while he figures it out is fair, especially given we're in a high-call area. OP on the tenant's rights. Where I live does seem to have tenant's rights already due to how long he's been here. For now, I'll accept his first rent payment and reconsider. I'm probably going to hold a zero-tolerance policy going forward, though. Failure to pay rent or unsolicited comments means you're out as soon as I am able. Updates. So, I talked to a lawyer friend shortly after making that post. Apparently, my state does indeed have laws giving tenancy after staying for a bit. They are legal tenants as it stands, unfortunately. So I decided on a month-to-month agreement where stepdad pays $400 a month. On top of that, I felt a few punitive measures were fair, at least temporarily. I placed an 8:30 p.m. curfew on him for anything not work-related. I also disallowed him from staying in the common area anytime I have anyone over, period. I also placed the majority of the chores in the house as his responsibility as well. For instance, for as long as he stays, he is responsible for cleaning the place entirely. Absolutely every room in the house, no exceptions. Living room, any bedrooms, bathrooms including shower, toilets and sinks, dishes, you get the picture. Of course, I can't force him to do anything, but he won't stay in my house for long if he doesn't. I know it's a bit mean for sure, but I felt there had to be some punishment for his actions. Mainly, I'd say that any further comments, non-payment of rent, or violating his punitive rules or chore requirements would result in me not renewing the month-to-month lease and an eviction as fast as I possibly can. For now, we've been living with this arrangement for a few days, and he's paid his first month. He hasn't made any off-putting comments or anything like that. If anything, he doesn't talk to me basically at all. My mom is still talking to me, though. She agreed that she should intervene if and when he says something again. But hopefully nothing happens again. She did tell me that stepdad told her that the $400 a month was a lot given his current income from his part-time job and that he finds doing all the chores tiring. But I told her it was final there and no. Also, my BF has been able to come over when he wants to without me being troubled for it. He already never bothered my BF directly, but now he kind of just cold shoulders him and I both. My BF doesn't care and finds it amusing though, so it's fine. Some comments. Looks like you're taking the phrase "my house, my rules" to a whole new level. Good on you for standing up for yourself and setting boundaries. Even if it means charging your stepdad rent and making him do chores. Next thing you know, he'll be asking for permission to use the bathroom. Your current income does not affect market rate of rent. It only makes you ineligible to qualify for it. Not the idiots. I can't believe how things turned out. It's like setting boundaries just flips the script on family dynamics. I mean, who would have thought that making someone responsible for chores could actually lead to peace? It's funny how a little structure and clear rules change everything so quickly. Maybe it's the idea of having some space or being reminded of daily tasks that makes all the difference. It really shows how important communication is once everyone knows where they stand. Things can settle down in unexpected ways. I'd have to imagine stepdad isn't the happiest. He was living rent-free before. Now, he's paying a massive chunk of his paycheck in rent to you. And he's doing what seems like every chore in the house, which I'd have to imagine is exhausting. And he gets a curfew as if all that didn't stress him out enough. Like, imagine being in your 50s with a curfew. Ouch, oh Mal. But ultimately, he did this to himself. Until he gets a better job, you have full power over whether there's a roof over his head. He needs to act like it. He chose to tell you what to wear and who you can bring home, thinking you wouldn't do anything. He probably expected you just to take the comments and was shocked when you made the conditions for saying that much stricter. It's a good lesson for him, and he'll learn not to bite the hand that feeds him. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.